Ever wondered why some people seem overly obsessed with themselves, displaying an inflated sense of their own importance? This is often due to a complex personality trait known as narcissism. Sometimes it even escalates into a psychological disorder. Narcissism, in its essence, is a labyrinth of self-obsession and grandiosity, an enigma that perplexes many. Today, we dive into the world of narcissism, dissecting its causes, effects, and its intricate presence in society. Narcissism as a term originates from Greek mythology, but what does it mean in today's context? Narcissism is a term most commonly used to describe a person with an inflated sense of their own importance and a deep need for admiration from others. It's more than just being self-centered or vain. It's a personality trait that can have profound impacts on an individual's relationships and interactions with others. Central to understanding narcissism is recognizing its key characteristics. These include excessive self-admiration and a preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Narcissists often believe they are superior or unique and expect others to recognize them as such. They require constant admiration and have a sense of entitlement, often taking advantage of others to achieve their own ends. However, beneath this mask of ultra-confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. This is because, at their core, narcissists struggle with a deep-seated insecurity and an inability to handle anything that may be perceived as a slight. Now, it's important to note that narcissism is not synonymous with having a healthy self-esteem. While both involve a positive view of oneself, they differ greatly in their manifestations. A person with a healthy self-esteem is confident in their abilities, respects others, and is able to handle criticism constructively. They do not need constant validation from others to feel good about themselves. On the other hand, a narcissist's self-esteem is contingent on how others perceive them, leading to a constant need for admiration and validation. Moreover, unlike those with a healthy self-esteem, narcissists often lack empathy, or the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This lack of empathy is a distinguishing feature of narcissism, and is what often leads to strained relationships, as narcissists struggle to form genuine connections with others. But it's not just about an inflated ego. Narcissism has deeper roots that we need to understand. Understanding these roots and the underlying causes of narcissism can help us navigate interactions with narcissistic individuals and potentially guide them towards healthier ways of relating to others. Narcissism doesn't sprout overnight. It's a result of a multitude of factors intertwining. Just as a mirror reflects the image that stands before it, narcissism is often the reflection of a complex interplay of genetic, psychological, and environmental influences. Let's delve into the genetic aspect first. Scientists believe that certain genes associated with personality traits may predispose an individual to develop narcissism. Just as hair color or height can be passed down through generations, so can the propensity for this personality disorder. However, it's essential to remember that genetics merely lay the groundwork. They're not destiny. Moving on, we consider the psychological factors. Here, we see the influence of specific childhood experiences. For instance, excessive pampering or conversely, extreme neglect can contribute to narcissistic behavior. When parents place their children on a pedestal, it can lead to an inflated sense of self-importance, a key characteristic of narcissism. On the other hand, children who experience neglect or emotional abuse may develop narcissistic tendencies as a defense mechanism, a way to mask their deep-seated insecurities and fears. Lastly, environmental factors play an equally significant role. The society we live in, the values it upholds, the behaviors it rewards, all of these can subtly encourage narcissistic tendencies. For example, a culture that glorifies individual achievement and material success over communal well-being may inadvertently foster narcissism. But it's crucial to note that none of these factors alone can predict whether someone will become a narcissist. It's the unique combination and interaction of these influences that shape the narcissistic personality. It's like a recipe. The same ingredients can create vastly different dishes depending on their proportions and the way they're mixed together. While the causes are many and complex, the effects of narcissism can be equally, if not more, profound. It's a subject that requires our attention, not just for understanding the narcissists among us, but also for recognizing the societal structures that may contribute to its prevalence. After all, the first step towards change is understanding. Narcissism doesn't exist in a vacuum. Its effects ripple out, impacting relationships and societies. Let's start with personal relationships. A narcissist's need for admiration and lack of empathy can create an imbalance. This often leads to emotional distress for their partners, family, and friends. They may feel unheard, unappreciated, and constantly on edge, trying to appease the narcissist's fragile ego. The ripple effects extend into professional environments too. Narcissism in the workplace can lead to a toxic culture. Narcissists often manipulate others to maintain their image of superiority, leading to an environment of distrust. They may belittle colleagues, take credit for others' work, and resist constructive criticism, stifling growth and innovation. But the impact of narcissism isn't just external. Narcissists themselves often suffer internally. Their self-worth is typically tied to the admiration they receive from others, making their self-esteem fragile and contingent on external validation. This can lead to a constant state of anxiety and insecurity. Moreover, narcissists can cause emotional harm to others. Their lack of empathy and disregard for others' feelings can result in emotional abuse. This can take the form of gaslighting, where they manipulate others into doubting their own perceptions, experiences, or feelings, causing psychological harm. While narcissism can be damaging, understanding it is the first step towards dealing with it. So, we've unraveled the complex world of narcissism, but what are the key takeaways? We've journeyed through the labyrinth that is narcissism, shedding light on its enigmatic nature. We've come to understand narcissism as more than just an inflated sense of self-importance. It's a complex personality disorder, characterized by a grandiose sense of self, a lack of empathy, and a constant need for admiration. We've delved into the origins of narcissism, exploring how a concoction of genetic, psychological, and environmental factors can breed this personality disorder. It's not a choice, but a circumstance that one finds themselves in. We've also examined the ripple effects of narcissism, acknowledging its far-reaching implications on relationships, workplaces, and societies at large. It's a force that can create whirlwinds of emotional turmoil and conflict. Remember, understanding narcissism isn't about labeling, but about fostering empathy and awareness. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.